The glass slipped from my hand, shattering against the kitchen tile with a sound like a gunshot. Red wine bled across the floor, pooling around my bare feet, but I barely noticed. My eyes were locked on the phone in my other hand, its screen glowing with a message that burned through my chest like acid. "I'm so sorry, man. It was a mistake. I swear it won't happen again." It was from Jake, my best friend since we were kids, sent to my wife Sarah at 2:13 a.m. last night. My thumb hovered over the screen, trembling as I read it again, the words carving deeper into my skull. A mistake. What kind of mistake? The house was silent, save for the faint hum of the fridge and the distant drip of the bathroom faucet. Sarah was upstairs, probably brushing her hair in that slow, deliberate way she always did before bed. I could picture her, bathed in the soft amber light of our bedroom, oblivious to the bomb ticking in my hands. My stomach churned, a mix of nausea and rage, as I scrolled up through their texts. Most were mundane jokes, memes, plans for our group barbecue last weekend. But then 3 weeks ago, a single line from Sarah. "You can't tell him. It'll destroy him." My knees buckled. I gripped the counter, the cold granite biting into my palms, grounding me just enough to keep from screaming. I'd only grabbed her phone to check the weather for tomorrow's hike. She'd left it on the counter, screen unlocked like she always did. We trusted each other. Or at least I thought we did. Now, every memory of the past few months felt like a lie unraveling. The late nights Sarah claimed were for work. The way Jake avoided my eyes when we grabbed beers last week. His laugh too loud, too forced. The small, nagging feeling I brushed off when I saw them whispering in the backyard during the barbecue. Their heads bent too close, her hand lingering on his arm. I told myself it was nothing. Just friends. Just Jake and Sarah, the two people I loved most in the world. I forced myself to move, my bare feet sticking to the wine-soaked floor. The stairs creaked under my weight as I climbed, each step heavier, like wading through quicksand. My heart pounded, a dull throb in my ears drowning out reason. I wanted to believe there was an explanation. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe it was something innocent. A secret birthday plan, alone, anything but what my gut screamed. But the words kept looping in my head. "It'll destroy him." Sarah was sitting on the edge of our bed, her auburn hair catching the lamplight as she scrolled through her tablet. She looked up, her smile soft and familiar, but it faltered when she saw my face. "Mark? What's wrong?" Her voice was gentle, concerned, but it felt like a blade twisting in my gut. How could she sound so normal? I held up her phone, my hand shaking so badly the screen blurred. "What's this?" My voice came out low, almost a growl, foreign to my own ears. Her eyes widened just for a split second, before she masked it with confusion. But I saw it. That flicker of guilt. "What are you talking about?" she asked, setting the tablet down slowly, her movements too careful, like she was handling dynamite. "This." I shoved the phone toward her, the text still open. "Jake. Last night. I'm sorry, it was a mistake. And you 3 weeks ago saying it would destroy me. What the hell, Sarah?" Her face drained of color, her lips parting as if to speak, but no words came. The silence was deafening. Heavier than any scream. I waited, my breath ragged, praying she'd laugh it off, explain it away. But her eyes darted to the side, and I knew. God, I knew. "Mark, it's not," she started, but her voice cracked, betraying her. She stood, reaching for me, but I stepped back, the air between us thick with something toxic. "Don't lie to me," I snapped, louder now, the words tearing out of me. "What happened? What did you do?" Her hands fell to her sides, trembling. "It was one time," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "One stupid, drunken night. We were at the bar after work and it just happened. I didn't mean for it to. One time." I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound that echoed in the room. "You're texting him about it weeks later, and it's just one time? You think I'm an idiot." My voice rose, shaking with a rage I didn't know I could feel. But beneath it, something worse clawed at me, grief, raw and suffocating, like I was mourning her while she stood right there. "I didn't want to hurt you," she said, tears spilling down her cheeks now, her voice pleading. "I love you, Mark. I swear I love you. It was a mistake and we stopped it. Jake feels awful too." "Jake?" I spat, his name like poison in my mouth. "My best friend. The guy who's been in our house at our table laughing with us. He feels awful. That's supposed to make this okay." I turned away, my hands raking through my hair, trying to hold myself together. The room felt too small, the walls closing in, the air thick with her perfume and my betrayal. I didn't know how to tell you, she said, her voice breaking. I was scared you'd leave me. I couldn't lose you, Mark. You're everything to me. I spun back to face her, my vision blurring with tears I refused to let fall. You already lost me, I said, the words cutting my throat as they came out. The second you chose him over me, you lost me. She sobbed, collapsing onto the bed, her hands covering her face. Part of me wanted to go to her, to hold her, to pretend this wasn't happening. I loved her. God, I loved her so much it hurt. But the image of her with Jake, my brother in all but blood, burned behind my eyes and I couldn't unsee it. I left the room, my footsteps heavy, each one a decision I wasn't ready to make. Downstairs I grabbed my keys and jacket, the wine still staining the floor like a crime scene. I needed air, space, anything to stop the world from spinning. But as I reached the door, my phone buzzed. Another text from Jake. Please man, let me explain. I'm begging you. I stared at the words, my thumb hovering over the reply button. But instead I opened my contacts, scrolled to his name and blocked him. Then I did the same for Sarah. The silence that followed was louder than any scream. A void where trust used to be. I stepped outside into the cold night, the stars sharp and unforgiving above. My breath fogged in the air, and I stood there alone, the weight of their betrayal crushing me. But then a new thought sparked, cold and deliberate. They didn't get to walk away unscathed. I'd make sure of it. The next morning I called my lawyer. By noon, I'd frozen our joint accounts and started the paperwork to sell the house. Sarah's belongings were packed by evening, left on the porch with a note. You made your choice. Now live with it. Jake's prized motorcycle, the one he'd spent years restoring, was accidentally reported stolen to the police. A tip from an anonymous neighbor. I didn't feel joy, but there was a grim satisfaction in knowing they'd feel a fraction of my pain. As I drove away from the house for the last time, Sarah's tear-streaked face in the rearview mirror, I realized the twist. The man I'd been trusting, loyal, whole was gone. They hadn't just betrayed me, they'd killed me. And the man left standing wasn't someone they'd recognize.